Hey everyone, welcome to the Wild and Uncut podcast, brought to you by Ruger. I'm your host, Kristy Titus. Thank you for tuning in. The line is going hot, so let's go full send on this episode. In a world where rugged and reliable matters, Ruger stands strong. Celebrating 75 years of American-made craftsmanship, Ruger continues to set the standard for excellence in firearms. From the iconic 1022 to the American rifle and beyond, each firearm embodies precision engineering and our deep-rooted traditions. Join us in honoring a legacy built on strength, innovation, and the American spirit. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into this episode of the Wild and Uncut podcast. We're coming at you from the Ruger Marlin booth at Hunt Expo with my good friend, Miss Miguela Minto.
Hello.
And I've known you, Miguela, since you were like, half your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally. Like, I don't want to talk about how old you are or how old I am, but literally half of your life. I have known you and your family. And, you guys have been such an instrumental part of, like, some of the best memories of my life as far as hunting.
Yeah.
You specifically, you guys have an outfit in BC and Alberta, and you are also a pilot.
Yes, I got my pilot's license.
And a mechanic.
I know how to fix them.
You literally are a woman that does it all. And I just also want to drop this bomb nugget. A few years ago, Miguela went to the sheep show. Entered the backpack races. Like, nobody knows who Mig is. She's like this, kid out of Canada, and comes in, crushes, dominates, beats everybody in the backpack races, men and women.
Yeah.
Mike drops the whole event and then just walks away like, it's all in a day's work. Everybody's like, who is that woman? I'm like, that's Miguela. So that just gives you kind of an inkling, if y'all have been to the backpack races at Sheep Show, like how tough this woman is, and strong, and like you literally are a woman that is out there doing it all, and you're such an inspiration, and it's been an incredible journey, like watching you grow up.
Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Like, so you were, 17 when your parents acquired the outfit in BC?
16, 17. It's something around that time.
Yeah, but your parents also had this whitetail business in Alberta, and your dad, Ron Nemnichek, was known kind of as the whitetail guy.
Yeah.
Like his whole deal for many years was harvesting just tremendous trophy whitetail, and then they branched out into Canada, and that's insert young Mig. Like my first memory of you're like fueling up a plane and.
Yeah,
like doing all the things.
All the grunt work to build my way up.
Talk about that, what that was like.
I will admit, it was fun. I was excited, had tons of life, and to better myself. And looking back at it now, I realized I didn't realize how blessed I've been. My parents have really groomed is not the right word, but grown me into this person that I didn't realize who I truly was. Mm-hmm. Everybody talks so highly of me, and I'm thinking, isn't everybody like this?
No.
And I've
you're an extraordinary woman.
Yeah, and I've learned that slowly. It's kind of humbling, more so because I didn't realize you don't know how to change oil in an airplane, you don't know how to skin an animal, you don't know how to talk to people, and that customer care in the mountains I didn't realize was something that was forgotten about.
Yeah.
in the industry.
Well, I do not know how to change oil in an airplane. So you got me on that. I can do the other stuff, but I can't change oil in an airplane. I can't fly an airplane either. I mean, so when I met you, yeah, you were a young woman, young girl. You were how old? 16, 17, whatever. You were young. It was 2012, I think was the first year.
I believe so.
I went up there, and I had been told that I needed to learn how to backpack hunt because I had never done an extended stay trip like that. All of my hunting had been with mules. And so I went up there, and you were this young girl. You know, I landed on the float plane, and you're like this young girl helping like tie off the planes, fueling them up. You're running around. You're literally doing everything. And then, you know, you went from that into like, okay, I'm going to set this goal to be a pilot. You've been unstoppable.
I'd like to think so. I've never really put... when someone's, my thing is hell or high water. You know, don't tell me no. I'm going to figure it out one way or another. And if I run into like a dead end where I'm like, there's no getting around it, okay, fine. I agree. You win.
Yeah.
But I don't like hearing no. Sure. Don't tell me no. Don't tell me we can't do that. And it's not because I'm a woman. I just feel like whether you're male or female, you shouldn't limit yourself on your ability, because I see so many people with handicaps that, whether it's a physical handicap or a mental handicap, they're still doing life.
Yeah.
And like people who are like physically inept to do stuff, they're sitting at home like playing video games, and it's like, come on, there's so much more to life.
Oh, there's so much to live, adventure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't need to climb mountains to see it, but just get out, breathe this beautiful air that God has given us, you know, just meet people, listen to their stories. You know, that's one thing I really loved. I love hearing people's stories. It doesn't matter if you're like a veteran of the industry, of like anything. It's just hearing those stories, and then young people, the excitement and joy they have in their life. And I remember reading your post about like how, again, about this backpacking trip. You know, you were like, didn't know, you drove up for one, you know, and you flew in, you didn't know what to do, like backpack wise, you know, it's a whole new world, and you were just on fire for life. Like nobody could tell you no.
Oh no.
You know, and I loved that. I think I gleaned from everybody's stories, and I just really tried to incorporate that into my life.
Yeah. And you have to do that. So one thing, you know, I'm similar to you, is like, come hell or high water. Like if I decide I'm going to do something, you know, for me, it's always been like, what do I need to do to get from where I'm at now to where I want to be? Because there's always a path. It's obviously not going to look the same for everybody.
Correct.
But there's always a path if you want to do something. The only thing that stops you is you yourself. And, you know, I watched you go from like, oh, I want to be a pilot. Then you were a pilot. Well, then you started guiding for your parents. And we're talking like you're packing, just to give perspective, like my pack, when I leave, I like to have my pack around 45 pounds. By the time I get my gun and water, I'm pushing 60.
Yeah.
You're packing over 100 pounds sometimes. Like you can pack some freaking weight, girl.
Yeah, on the pack out, it's, you know, everybody's kind of depleted at that point, and I honestly say my prayers. I give thanks to the Lord, and I said, Lord, I need to go home. Just, you know, like those pack horses, let the reins go, and they take you home, and that is how I feel. At the end of the day, I don't feel that weight, you know.
Yeah.
I just know, like, hey, a dream has been accomplished.
Yeah.
You know, we've built a friendship, and we got to experience God's country.
Amen.
You know, so that's been truly what gets me home.
Yeah.
So
you're strong. Like when I came up and hunted with you, it was 2017.
Yep.
We hunted for moose and caribou, and you had been in the bush with Kate Bryant.
Yeah.
You guys had been in the bush for like 2 months.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, you guys were jacked, like in shape, and I was coming in just having my knee reconstructed, and things were harder for me. You know, it was a lot harder physically trip for me because I had just spent the year learning how to walk again. Like it was, and that was, you know, I got to tell you, like when I was doing physical therapy, like I had to literally learn how to walk. Like my brain quit functioning on like how to bend my leg and like all these things, right? Like, well, my leg froze, it wouldn't bend. So we had to like force bend my leg. And then it was like reconnecting my brain to my leg to getting it to like work together. And when I went on the hunt with you guys, you ladies, I should say, I was like, that was the driving focus for me during my rehab. It was like, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get through this because I've got this mountain hunt for moose and caribou. And I think that's, something a lot of people might be looking at, like, well, I can't overcome this physical challenge, or I had this happen or that happen. But a lot of times I really feel like having a goal or having something that you can work or aspire to really forces you to hold like extreme accountability, like extreme ownership, to where like, hey, if I don't do this, if I don't get in the gym today, if I don't do these things today, these women are gonna dust me on the mountain. and you ladies were in shape, like it, and so I was probably like the slow end of the wheel on that whole deal. But it was a lot of fun. It was a good opportunity for me to push my body, and not quit.
That's really interesting. I get a lot of people that come up to me at the shows, whether they hunt with us or not, and they're like, "Is Kristy Titus really all that?" I said, "Yeah."
Kristy, that's so funny.
Kristy
like,
is all that. I do not care what anybody says.
Oh,
you
sweet.
Are. Besides a personality in this hunting industry, you're genuine.
Thank you.
You get what you see, everybody. There is nothing phony about this lady. She in the mountains,
except my nails, okay. My hair, okay.
But Kristy, you gave it your all.
Thanks.
I remember telling you, like, hey, if you're gonna take the hide and horns back, there's no giving up.
No.
Like, we gotta get back. It's getting late.
Well, and we had to take everything in one load because of grizzly bears. So that was like, we were loaded up. Yeah. And I think I made it all but like a half mile back to camp.
If that. It was like maybe 300 yards. It was not very far. It was just up that, like, you made it up the hill, you broke that tree line, and then you said your knees, like, Meg, I cannot do it.
Yeah.
And then it was like we just pumped over, and it was like that flat
right
walk
there.
and then to camp. And
I wish I would have just done it, but I was in pain. Like, I was hurting. Like, I was toast. But where we moose hunted was not traditional either, because traditionally, like, you go to a moose hunt, you drop off at a lake, you have a nice cabin, a wood stove, all these things. Where we moose hunted, we're like backpacking, like for sheep, and we got dropped off, and we were hiking out every day, and it was really a non-traditional hunt. It was an incredible journey.
Exactly. It was and like that first day, I was like, oh, we gotta get this done. Like, we got a big storm coming in a few days, and then when we just could not connect on that bull the first day, I was like kind of depleted, but I was like, you know what, we gotta get it done tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
I think it took us I think we killed him on the third day.
Yeah, and then when we finally got, I said I had to push. We pushed across, and then he busted through that timber.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, like,
we
how
got
did I
busted
screw
hard.
up? And then
because we went past him on accident. Yeah.
Yeah, we cut him, and he caught our wind, and then he busted backwards on us. He doubled down, and then when we were like, oh, we got to get going, so we're walking out, and you actually spotted him.
It was a better situation because then we had the uphill advantage.
Exactly.
Because I was struggling. Like, we had been within gun range of the moose, but he had the uphill advantage, and I couldn't get clearance over the bush for a clear shot. Like, we could see the moose, and he was there. It was in firearm range, but like, there was no clear line of shot because the brush was so tall. And I'm like, I can't shoot through this stuff. Like, I can't get my tripod over the brush to shoot it. So we were like, actually, it ended up working out. We had the advantage of the higher angle on our side elevation, and it was awesome. We were really fortunate. And then we woke up the next day to like 6 inches of snow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And it's kind of funny, too. I just remember because we do a lot of preseason scouting. I'm like, oh, there's bullsmen. This will maybe, if the opportunity presents itself. But even my dad says, he's like, I'm pretty sure you got the wrong moose. I'm like, no, there's no way we got into a little bit of a
heated little,
Yeah, and I'm like, no, this is the moose. Trust me, And he's like, no. So when we flew out, and he's like, you see that moose?
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever, we got a moose.
We got a moose.
Like,
he wasn't specific to us. Like, hey, there's a couple of bulls in this valley. One's a decent bull. The other one's a really good bull. Like, but it's okay. I was happy.
Exactly. And the thing, too, it was like, I'm like, how about you go there and you go get that other moose? Because it wasn't easy. Like, even when we came back up, that really tight scrub, oh my, I was like, oh, Kristy hates me.
Trying to get the moose horns through that was brutal. Like, it was like, literally, like, if the thickest reprod, and you're trying to get a moose, like, wide moose rack through it was really rough. But we got through it. We just had to, like, hold branches back and, like, weave our way through. It was an incredible adventure. And and it was really fun because, you know, we took off from Smithers, flew into your area, and then flew out again. And we were 100 air miles from the nearest road.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that was really incredible. And it was me and you and another woman. My cameraman was there. Nick, we love you. But
exactly.
It was pretty funny because we couldn't let Nick. We were doing a time lapse of breaking down the moose, and and we were like, "Sorry, Nick, you can't help because we can't have." We wanted this to be like a girls thing, so the three of us, me, you, and Kate, broke down that moose, and it was just awesome. I mean, and it started to snow on us, and it was a wild trip. It's definitely one of my fondest memories, and I'm sure, you know, guiding up there, you probably have so many incredible stories with people that you've seen, you know, life-changing moments and events happen, and breakthroughs with spirituality, or you know, just like personal accomplishment. Because, you know, when you do these types of hunts, it really is mentally probably one of the most triumphant things that you can do.
Yeah.
Like,
it's funny. I had this two brothers on this hunt last year, and we're going sheep hunting. And the first brother who flew in, he says, "Hey," I said, "Hey, who's shooting first?" He said, "Oh, I'm gonna let my brother go." I'm like, "Okay." So, anyways, we fast forward. We're sitting on top of this ridge, looking down at these rams, and I said, "All right, get ready." He missed. He was devastated.
Yeah.
And his brother didn't help. You know how brothers are.
Oh, sure.
But, you know, the beautiful thing is those two brothers, like, got it together when it mattered. And we got a doubleheader.
No way.
Yeah, we got a doubleheader because, you know, it was just amazing how God worked. Even though he missed, then this other ram, literally, it felt like a mushroom. He popped out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa, it's okay. It's a good thing you missed. You know, because I don't think we could have got the other ram. And then it took us probably an hour of like sneaking down. And I said, "Lord, I need you to get me right on top of those rams. I can't find them in a boulder patch." These things were like 30-ton boulders. Like they were huge. And we literally popped right over top of those rams. And I said, "Okay, this is how it's going to go." We sat, and the one brother said, "I can't see." I said, "Then get up and look down." I said, "Okay, he's right there." And then I told the other brother, said, "Okay, once your brother shoots, it's going to be like 2 seconds, and you got to pull that trigger. And I'll confirm the ram first." And it was boom. And then the other ram just popped up, looked at us, and said, "Yep, that's him." Boom. And it was like, "Oh, yeah, we can pull them together. We can like
Great
take that."
photos.
No, the other ram like fell backwards off the rock. And I'm like, "Oh, I'll just lift this thing up." No, there was no lifting this thing up.
No, but it's still an incredible journey for two brothers to. And a 2-on-1 sheep hunt that's an accomplishment. Right?
Yeah,
like that's no easy feat.
And the whole thing, it kind of wrapped up every hunt. It was a physically demanding for guys that just they're fit, but there's a different type of fit, and emotionally just so rewarding for them hiking out. And they realized, wow, we just did this. And I said, "Yeah, you just did this. This is, and you guys did it together."
Yeah.
You know, and it was just such a beautiful moment to really be able to experience, because I've never had that opportunity to be there on a doubleheader. You know, and then also it was just like wrapping all those hunts I've ever done with like the emotion of like gratefulness. Yeah.
That is one thing, we have in this life is there's so much to be grateful for. Gratitude is something that, just being out there, the privilege of seeing these mountains and these animals. I mean, there's so much to be grateful for. It is some of the most beautiful, remarkable stuff. Like, it's actually really sad for me. Every time I leave a place like that, it's like, man, this could be the last time that I ever look at these landscapes. Like when I hunted with McKinsey Mountain Outfitters, and I did a sheep hunt, a Dall sheep hunt one year with them, and then I did a caribou hunt the following year. And when the plane left our base camp, I looked at the ground and I was like, man, it's so bittersweet, because in your heart, like, this is probably the last time your eyes are going to cast upon those landscapes. And you're just so grateful to have been there and seen it and experienced it, but you're also a little bit sorrowful, because it is not for everybody. It's not the easiest way to accomplish, getting one of these hunts. And, there's a lot of people that say, well, I could never afford a sheep hunt, and the sheep hunts are, I'm telling you, I get it. Like, they have gotten so expensive. but also maybe not so much on the stone sheep side like with your family, but like on some of the doll sheep and stuff, like they are truly expensive.
Yeah.
I'm going on a fan and sheep hunt this year, and I booked it, I think, 4 years ago, and I have saved. Like every year I've made it a priority to save money, and that was one of the reasons I moved to Wyoming, is so that I could hunt more as a resident, and then I could save more money because I could hunt locally and then save more money so I could do, you know, every 5 or 6 years something really remarkable.
Yeah.
Like true, like life-changing hunter experience. And I know a lot of people believe that it's just so out of their league and financially, but I also like to say, well, all right, well, do you go to Starbucks and how much are you eating out? And like if you were to take all those Starbucks spends, you know, or whatever your vice is for 5 years and you put that money away, I guarantee you're going to be pretty close to achieving your goal. Maybe not quite a stone sheep, but you get my point.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I count your pennies and the dollars will follow.
Correct.
You know, and I really admire, I get a lot of hunters too that say, hey, this is a dream hunt. You know, I've been for years, and they say, yeah, I've been saving for it. And when those guys get their animals, the emotions that just pour out, and it's not because they saved all that time, it's everything they put into it, whether it's the physical fitness part, the life change on the other side of making sure they could afford it, the gear prep, and then just experiencing every moment from the time they board that commercial plane to the time they like land at the lodge. So
it's incredible. It's truly, they're life-changing moments. And you're part of what I would call Gen 2 on the outfit side. So your mom and dad, you know, started this outfit. Ron's been in the business for like 40 years. I'm not sure how long Maria's been in. Probably about the same.
I think mom's been doing it now 20.
Okay. So, and then now to see you and your two brothers like taking over the family business, you're flying. Your brother Santino is doing a lot of the Alberta guiding, but he also is doing BC. And then Gaetano, when I came up, Gaetano really wasn't in the picture. I don't know what Gaetano was doing.
He was chasing football.
Oh, is that what he was? Okay.
Yeah, he was
I was
football.
Like, girls in football? I don't know. Something. He was not up there, but now he's like all in. And so just to see, like, you know, you have this tremendous history. And I think that's what's really great about when you walk into a lot of these rooms at these conventions is people think, well, you know, you have to be older and wealthy to do this, or you can't do it. But there's so many young people, what I consider young, my age, middle-aged people that, you know, you have the money now in a good career and the means to like save and do, and you get to work and hunt with other people that are your age or maybe younger, that are up and coming and starting to run and take over these businesses. And it's really like that next generation. And that's what makes the hunting heritage, you know, so timeless. And it's really like one you guys are like, your parents are passing the torch to you and your brothers, and it's pretty special to see.
It really is, especially now seeing my older brother who has kids, and he gets.
Was he 3 now?
3.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I love those. They're so cute, and they're so involved, and that's what he's done. He's really like, he's starting them with geese hunting, and so they got those calls.
Oh,
and, you know, and the girls come over when there's deer on the ground, and they just love it. They're not afraid, which I just love.
In the heart of the wilderness, every step counts. No matter where or what you're hunting, OnX Hunt Elite has you covered in the U.S. and Canada with offline capability, land ownership, 3D mapping, and you can even access specialty courses, hunt research tools, and elite-specific features. No matter where you pursue the wild, adventure is assured when you upgrade to Elite for the ultimate hunting experience. There are a lot of Americans that understand the value of hunting, but we all know that right now, national support of hunting is extremely volatile. It seems that with every passing day, our voice is diminished and the court of public opinion is not effectively hearing our side. We need advocates working on our behalf in Washington, D.C. to defend our freedom to hunt. And thankfully, when we need it the most, we have that advocate in Safari Club International. SCI's world headquarters are located in Washington, D.C., just blocks from the United States Capitol, which means that SCI is on the ground with our congressional leaders and federal agencies on our behalf, on behalf of the hunting community. SCI has an active political presence in all 50 states through their extensive chapter network and government affairs staff. If you have ever wondered why you should be a member of SCI, you shouldn't wonder anymore. Join us in the fight to defend hunting. Go to safariclub.org to learn more. And the other thing I love about your outfit is that there's so many women involved.
Yeah.
So Santino's wife is there. Mm-hmm. Your mom is there. She makes really good cinnamon rolls.
Yes,
I just want she can bake. Maria can cook. And then you're there, and then you've had female packers. Mm-hmm. And so it's really like when you look at hunting, gender roles don't really matter. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. The mountain is welcoming to everybody.
Exactly. It's funny, my brother Gaetan and I had this talk about like male and female, and there is a distinct difference between the male and the female on competition. You take the best of the best. And it's funny, I've learned the last few years to stop competing with the boys.
Sure.
I don't need to compete with them because they will walk faster than me. Sure. They will haul heavier than me. But the beautiful thing is I get to use them to haul out heavy.
Yeah, you get to have help.
Exactly. And it's kind of nice too. Now I'm at the point where I've done it. If someone tells me, well, I don't want to do it, well, I've done it. You need to learn to do it. I've been there. And if you want to be where I'm at or know what I have done, then you got to do it. Because I would never let someone do something I have never done.
That's right.
You know? And so it's important. Like, I know some people can't compete on the same level, but willing to compete. Like I said earlier, like, don't tell me you're handicapped, because I don't care if you have some sort of autism or some sort of physical ability. You can do it. But there's obviously changes that we have to accommodate, but don't limit yourself. Never. And I've never limited myself in the field. So it's been enjoyable to see now that I can stop competing on that thing. And
that comes with age also, Miguela.
You're probably right.
That comes with age because, you get to a certain point where you're just comfortable with who you are and what you can do, and you don't feel like, when you're young, I think you feel like, oh, I need to prove, that I can do this, or you feel like you have to show people, like you got to, you feel like you got something to prove. When you get older, you're like, I'm good. You want to help me? Sweet. Help me.
Exactly.
Because I know how to do this, but if you want to do this for me, I'm good with that too. And that comes with maturity, Miguela.
Yeah, and you're probably right. And these are things, again, I feel like I'm a slow learner.
No, you're not. You're just young. That all comes with maturity and also as you get older, you're like, I know how to do this, and now you want to teach somebody else.
Yeah.
So at first you're trying to prove something, so you're always trying to do it. And then you kind of change into like, from the person that's doing it and trying to prove it to like, okay, I'm going to teach it now.
Yeah.
You like pass that torch on. So like you might have somebody with you in the field that doesn't know how to do something, and that's your opportunity to stand back, coach them, mentor them, and allow them to have that same boat of confidence that you had developed the first time you did that task.
That's true.
And that is a great thing about, hunting and being in the field, is it's your opportunity to pass that independence. It's that whole saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him to fish, you feed him for his life.
Yeah.
And so that's really, truly the torch that you get to pass on as a guide and an outfitter and a mentor. You're not just out there taking them, you're helping them, you're teaching them.
Yeah.
And hopefully everybody's, learning in the process,
That's true.
I think you never want to stop learning. You have to always keep learning.
Yeah, that's so true. And one thing too is, like, I know Kate has on that moose, she's definitely pursued her career in the hunting industry, and I think she's done a really phenomenal job in showcasing her skill set. And I kind of feel like I'm really grateful that I was there with Kate and that we were able to do like life together in 2017, and just seeing her blow up what she's doing, it's just been really awesome.
Well, both of you women have had really remarkable paths on the mountain. And I always joke, like, once you're a mountain hunter, like, your heart is never the same. Like, the mountains will always call you north. That's one of the things that I think I talked about in our episode is like, doesn't matter where you step off the mountain, they always call you back. It's how people end up wanting to like get a slam of sheep or, you know, harvest all the mountain species because it just keeps calling you back.
Yeah.
Like you can't, it's an addiction really.
Very much.
Yeah. And it's a passion. So, for you, when you're guiding, what's the most rewarding aspect for you?
Honestly, the most rewarding is when those hunters step back and realize what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because this is what I live for, so I take it for granted a little bit. But when they're able to be successful in their hunt, not necessarily always with a harvest, but success with themselves. I had one moose hunter. We like literally went sheep hunting because there was a stud of a bull.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey. Showed my dad pictures. I said, this is a big bull. Like,
yeah.
I think he's almost world record. And he's like, okay, if you want to go after him. And I said to the hunter, I said, this is an option if you want to do that, or we can go lake hunt. He's like, no, I'm willing to push. So we pushed. Some medical things came up for him, but on our way out, he said, Miguela, thank you so much. I have realized now what life truly is about.
Yes.
It's my health, my time with my child. Work's important, but I'm going to step back a little bit from work because I want my daughter to experience just a little bit of this, if not all of it. And those life-changing moments are just what I love. Just their dreams just becoming a reality. It's really like things that I don't take in consideration because I'm living it.
Yeah.
And when people vocalize it, it's just really amazing.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like there's so much life changing, and that's one of the cool things that you guys do too. You are changing the lives of people that live in the surrounding area. Like my caribou harvest, for example, you know, all that meat was donated to the local families in the community, and your mom is really, really ardent about like, hey, the meat is going to go to these families. We have to contribute. We give back. We take from the land, and we want to give to our community. And that's something that you guys work really hard on doing as well.
Yeah, and we constantly try to grow that relationship, so it's not just an outfitter. It's like, hey, it's Ron and Maria. It's, hey, it's Miguela's knocking at the door. Like, we're really trying to bridge that gap, so it's a little bit more personable with the residents that live up there. And being married to Stuart has definitely helped me meet more people in the Dease Lake, Telegraph, and Iskut area, which I'm very grateful for because I love meeting people. I love hearing like how grateful they are, you know, when they just get a piece of caribou meat. Like, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, it's a feel good. It's not because it's like, you know, it goes from the mountains to somebody's table.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is full circle because a lot of those people are older and don't have the capacity anymore to go to those destinations physically, and you're providing them a resource that otherwise they wouldn't have.
Yeah, and especially when I get to hear their hunting stories and their guide stories, I'm like, yes. I'm like, yeah, again, gleaning from them. I just really love they are so passionate about where they live and their land, so it makes me.
Talk to me a little bit about Stuart and this jacket you're wearing. Does he have something to do with it?
Kind of not really.
Stuart is Miguela's new husband.
Yes.
She just got married. Congratulations, Miguela.
Thank you. So we went down to Harrisburg, and a few years ago, there's this Western store called Back to Basics, and I loved it. It was like you had to go up the stairs. There's this little mechanical horse, and it was just crammed full of Western stuff. And I found this really nice like pullover that was like lacy, and I told myself if I would go back to Harrisburg, I really want to go there. So this time, Stuart and I made a trip out to Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, back to that Western store, Back to Basics, and it's changed, it's new ownership, but it's just full of little treasures. And I'm a discount shopper, so I went into their clearance bin, and they had this jacket there, and I tried it on, and I'm like, oh, like it's beautiful, but it chafes my neck a little bit. And
so you were
I wear that. So I picked up a scarf there too, and I just like love this jacket.
It's suede, yeah.
Yeah.
But what are these beads?
I don't know exactly the whole story behind it. I think it's a Cripple Creek jacket.
Oh, Cripple Creek, yeah.
And I just thought it would be a nice addition to come into the shows.
Yeah.
So
It's well, I was thinking it was have like some sort of like I look at it, I'm like, oh, Miguela's gonna have a story about this jacket. Like, oh, these beads were carved in the tribe or something. Like, I was way off on that.
Yeah, sorry. I'll try to find something like that.
You just
time.
make it up next time, Miguela. No, I'm just teasing. I'm totally.
It.
So talk about getting married and what that has been like with your life right now.
So it was a very untraditional marriage. I just told Stuart after Gospel Fest, I said, let's get married. He says, what? I said, yeah, I'm tired of waiting. We have no time to plan. As you know, my life, it's very busy with guiding and trade shows and all that lovely stuff. And so he's like, okay. So we drove down to Smithers. We talked to the minister before Gospel Fest. I said, hey,
how long were you dating first?
A year, pretty much.
Okay.
It was like 11 months and change, but I was like, semantics. And I just knew Stuart was the right man. He loves me, and most of all, he respects me. Yeah, and he loves the Lord, and he's like on fire for him. So those were the things that kind of like I just knew. And then we got married. But before, actually, my mom called me and said, hey, Miguela, where are you? And I'm like, Mom, I'm still in Smithers. She says, why? I said, I'm getting married. She says, you better call your father. I said, I am. He's next. And I called everybody, and
you're like, surprise!
Yeah.
I just got married.
So it's kind of, when I say unconventional, it's like, so we got married. We had a beautiful lunch. He had to go to work, so he went one way, and I went the other way for work too. And I had kind of like a mini honeymoon by myself because I had a fishing trip in Bolivia. So I went fishing for my honeymoon.
Without your husband?
Yeah, without him. So
sorry about that, Stuart.
Yeah, exactly. So this, my other brother, Jimmy, he gave my mom a Sprinter van. So we're going to Georgia like in a week and a half and driving across the states.
Jimmy's not related to you, though.
He's an adopted brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I didn't think Jimmy was, okay.
He's adopted.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
And so we're driving across from Georgia all the way back home. So it's our actual honeymoon. So I'm really excited for it to see the States.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't been around the States much.
Not really. Just every state that has a trade show in it.
She's been to Salt Lake City quite a few times and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you're going to have a great trip. It'll be really remarkable. That'll be a real adventure for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You're going to hate the traffic, though, I'm telling you right now. I pulled into Salt Lake. I live in Wyoming, right? Duh. But I pull into Salt Lake and I'm instantly like stressed out. I'm like, oh my gosh, there is people everywhere. Going to Walmart yesterday, I about freaked out. Like there were so many cars. It was like a covered parking garage. I'm like, what is this? Isn't Walmart. This is a covered parking garage. Like where are we? It is wild. Yeah. Like how few people are up there and how many people are here.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Wyoming. Like there's like my truck is white right now. It is like an orange brown because the road my property is on is a mud road.
Oh,
like
gosh.
We don't have paved roads when you leave proper town, right? Like there's no paved roads. So like and it's been minus 17. So you're not washing your car. Like so I show up here and everybody's cars, like there's some trucks outside. Yeah. They look like they've never been drove. Like, they are so clean. I'm like, we are not living in the same zip code. Clearly. Like, I am living like a heathen. And everything here is, like, so populated and clean. It's like, your mind is going to be blown, Miguela.
I totally believe it. And I think that's one thing why people from the States come up to Canada to really feel
just disconnected.
Totally disconnected.
Yeah.
And I understand it. I will probably understand it more on this road trip.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting perspective. You're going to have a whole different view, I think, of America and and the whole. It depends on what cities you go to, too. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, where you all end up going. And but your husband, he's native.
Yeah, he's a tall tan from the Dease Lake area. His family has a line of outfitting and guiding and horsemanship. His grandfather used to own Kitaskan Lake Outfitters, and now his uncle owns it, and his brother Rob they're transitioning, trying to figure out how that all works, and then Stuart's up here with me.
Transitioning into guiding and outfitting.
Yeah, into the guiding end of like how, I don't know, it's not my department, but Rob's here at the show with Jerry right now, and then, but too, Willie and Grace used to take trail rides up in a whole part of Northern BC. And Grace actually used to ride with her dad when she was young, and she would tell me stories of, oh, she went up this. I don't remember all the names, and I'm like, wow, like so amazing. And then just with Willie and Grace doing trail rides to Ice Mountain and taking people out just to see how beautiful this country is, and I'm like, he's a horseman through and through. He's a bushman. He's like, he knows how to survive, you know, which is really grateful. I don't have to teach him anything.
No.
He's going to be able to teach me a few things.
Sure.
And we got a few horses Rob gave us as a wedding present.
Hey,
I'm like,
welcome to my world.
yeah, I know, right? And we have this one horse called Chachi, a.k.a. Sam, because everybody hates Chachi, his name.
I like the name Chachi.
I know, right?
Cute. Yeah, I like it.
And so Chachi is a little bit of a firecracker, so we got to tame him down. And then we have 2 babies, Charlie, who's a little sassy, and Dancer, who's just skittish a little bit. You can go up to her, but she's just like, oh, don't touch me.
Yeah,
So,
she needs some time.
yeah, so we're going to work with her a little bit and kind of build up a little herd for ourselves. And Rob has some great horses too, and he has these beautiful red ones that I'd like to get a harness and get a team together, because they're just beautiful pair. So
Yeah, there is nothing that soothes my soul more than being with my mules. Like, I mean, I literally, like in the winter months right now, like I'll get up at 5 a.m. so I can work, so that I can spend the last 3 hours of daylight with my mules.
I'm
like, okay, I got to get up early, get in my work day, get in my workout, and get out there so I can spend the last 3 hours of daylight with my little family. And so I'm excited for you guys in your journey into horsemanship.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate it. And then we got a little bit of cows too. We're just a little bit of,
and you're gardening too in the summer.
Yeah, we throw up a little garden, like the basics, like stuff that we don't really have to like tend to.
Tomatoes,
potatoes,
zucchini,
yeah,
potatoes. Yeah,
just throw them in the ground and they look after themselves.
They grow squash.
Yeah,
the easy things.
Yeah, because it's hard being up in the mountains.
Oh, sure.
And then like tending to a garden, and I'm very thankful that I have a dad who has everything set up for the cows, and he looks after that. I'm like, here's some feed. I got feed for them, and then he's just so supportive, and it's kind of a nice thing too. We were able. I didn't have a heart for cows for the longest time, and then
I do. It's called ribeye.
Yeah, but God placed upon my heart, so I bought a baby calf, like spontaneous, and I built this like little shelter in my mom's yard because I thought it'd be fun. And my mom comes home from her holiday and is like,
"What did you do?"
Yeah, exactly. I said, "Mom, I have to leave here. And she's a bottle baby.
Oh,
and I'm like, I'll be back in a week. She's like, what?
So she's bottle feeding the baby every 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
She wants to kill you.
Yeah, she did. And then I traded that calf. She got big enough where she was independent for a steer off my dad, and we slaughtered him for our youth group, our youth center for the youth group, and it was such a hit. And we're learning how to figure it all out because navigating this the cattle horse
I
industry.
have to get cattle this year too. That's
Good.
on my list for my farm deferral for taxes. So I've got to get some cows, and I'm gonna work on that this year.
Yeah, depending if you're looking for meat wise, it seems like Red Angus is pretty
black. There's a lot of black ones.
Black Angus.
A lot of black ones in Wyoming.
Yeah, and like I've been trying to find a Wagyu cut of some sort of a calf because there's one guy up home that has Wagyu. I'm like,
sounds expensive.
Yeah, the cows are like $900. I'm like,
that doesn't seem expensive.
For me, it's expensive because I still have to bottle feed that thing.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a baby.
It's a baby.
Infant. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was like, that doesn't seem expensive to me because I was thinking cows were like $2,500.
Yeah, $2,500 probably for a yearling kind
Yeah.
of deal. About 600 pound, 800 pound, maybe depending. But so we got a bunch of cows that we're gonna figure out. And then this is the funniest thing. I picked up one steer from a friend, and we couldn't get him into the trailer. We had to get we had to create the system, and then we kind of like got both in the trailer. And she's like, "Do you want the second one?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll take her." So I got like two Brahma cross steer and heifer, and they're so cute.
I am so excited to get cows.
Yeah.
I just want to chase them around on my mules because I want to teach my mules how to work cows. And I want my other mules to not be afraid of them because I have some older mules they're scared of the cows. Like
my big saddle mule, Otis, he's 17 years old, but
Oh.
like when we go through cows, he's like, all right, I'm going through them. But if they come at me, we have a problem. Like, I'm going to go through them, but I don't like this.
I
And
love
they,
it.
you know, like he's not sure, but they need to learn to push them off for food.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like they need to learn that the cows are, they're going to move.
Yeah, second-rate citizens
Correct.
at this point.
Yeah, they're not the alphas in the pack. Yeah. No, that's really, I'm excited for you for all of that. So if people want to come hunt with you, they have whitetail, you have whitetail deer, you have wolf hunting, you have black bear hunting. That's all in Alberta.
Yep.
In BC, you have mountain goat, which I hunted mountain goat with your
Yes.
mom and dad also. So there's mountain goat, you have stone sheep, you have moose, you have caribou.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all of the species,
That's
right?
pretty much all of it.
So if anybody wants to go hunt with you, they
Yeah.
just North River Outfitting online,
Yep.
and you have social media channels that people
Correct.
can find you. And if you want to have a female guide, you can request Miguela.
I'm in high demand, so make sure you book sooner than later.
That's right. And she can even fly you in out of the bush, so you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know if you're going to get Ron or Miguela. But I've been in the plane with your dad a lot, and apparently I smell bad usually when I'm in it, so that's handy. Ron told this story once. He's picked us up after we'd been out
Oh,
13
yeah.
days. And he's like, you know, you always know how hard a trip was based on how bad someone smells.
Mhm.
He's like, I picked up all you guys out there on the mountain. There was like half a dozen of us. It was like Chad Miller, Darren,
Yeah.
Dr. Bob, Brian, me. Who else was there?
The other guy, I can't remember.
Oh,
his
that
name.
other guy. Yeah, that other guy. Jason.
Yeah, that's right.
Jason. So, and then there's me. So there's like 6 of us out there sheep and goat hunting. And he's like, you know, Kristy, you didn't smell the worst, but you certainly weren't the best. And I'm like, well, who smelled the least? And he's like, Brian. And I'm like, how is this possible? This is a man that never brushed his teeth in 13 days, was eating mosquitoes off the back of his
yeah.
hand. You'd look at him, he'd have mosquito wings in his teeth.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does this man smell better than me? Like, this is highly insulting. I have at least been like brushing my teeth, practicing some basic hygiene,
Yep.
and I smelled bad. So, I'm just glad, like, at the end of the day, off those hunts, like when you jump in a pickup truck or a plane, when everybody stinks, you don't
Living
smell
it.
it.
And
You
when
don't
people
want to walk into
vocalize
that
it,
shit.
it's just really
that
amazing.
situation clean. Like, you don't want to walk into the like plane being the clean person, having to be subjected to the stinky people. But yeah, that was Ron. God bless you, Ron. Jeez, I'm the stinky Juan.
Yeah.
If you want to know, yes, I smell bad. So there you go. It's a lot of fun. It's always a good time. So hopefully you guys will get lots of bookings this year and next, and people that want to live that ultimate
Yeah.
adventure should look you up. Thank you again, Miguela. And I want to thank you all for tuning into this episode of the Wild Uncut podcast. I want to thank our sponsors. We're at the Ruger Marlin booth. We got SCI. We got Onyx that are making this podcast happen. And again, Maria and Ron are your parents. Miguela, Gaetano, and Santino are your brothers. And then your stepbrother, Jimmy, or adopted brother, whatever, Jimmy. Yeah, we love you, Jimmy. And then we've got North River Outfitting is the name of the outfit. So get online, check them out for all species, moose, caribou, mountain goats, whitetail, bears, and wolves. So thank you all for tuning in again.
When conditions get tough on a mountain hunt, your gear must be tougher. Making every opportunity count means selecting equipment that will not fail. Any condition, anywhere, Hornady Outfitter ammunition is designed to perform. Available in a wide range of cartridges from .243 to .375 Ruger. When you're looking for a hard-hitting, deep-penetrating bullet and cartridge that performs in the most rugged environments, look no further than Hornady Outfitter ammunition.
Thank you all for listening to the Wild and Uncut podcast. If you would like to hear more, be sure to not only watch, but subscribe to my Pursue the Wild digital series airing on Carbon TV and YouTube. And while you're at it, follow me at Kristy Titus on Facebook and Instagram.